What is going on YouTube? Your boy Sontwisted, and this is actually a response video that I'm doing to Industrial Gamer's last Road to Rip update video. This isn't my official update video. I'm probably going to make that right after this one. Just wanted to address a few things because I told him that I would, based on some of the things that he was saying in the video that I think are hindering his progress or undoing whatever progress that he's making. Firstly, he says that he only eats 3 meals a day, and for the most part, he skips breakfast. Now, number one, the problem that you're causing when you do that, by you only eating 3 meals a day and you're keeping 5 hours in between each meal, you're feeding your body too infrequently, so you're causing your body to go into fat storing mode because your body's thinking that you're starving because it's going so long without food. It actually starts hoarding your fat instead of burning the fat, but you still need calories to be burned for your body to sustain itself. So to get those calories, your body starts burning off your muscle. So you're basically training your body to store fat and burn muscle when you're eating that infrequently. That's number one. Number two, the not eating breakfast. If you're following, recommended rules or guidelines, you shouldn't be eating within 3 hours of going to sleep, and you should be getting at least 8 hours of sleep and eating within 1 hour of waking up. Well, when you total that all up, that's 12 hours that you're going without food. So again, if you're supposed to be eating every 2 to 4 hours, and you're going 12 hours without food, if you're eating every 2 hours, you just miss 6 meals. If you're eating every 3 hours, you just miss 4 meals, right? If you're eating every 4 hours, you just miss 3 meals. So once again, your body is very starved, nutrient deprived, protein deprived. It doesn't have the proper food and energy to sustain itself. And again, because it hasn't gotten food in so long, it goes into fat storing mode. So when you wake up and you skip breakfast, all of that food that your body was missing for those 12 hours is what you're giving it at breakfast. That's why you need to eat a big breakfast to replenish a lot of that lost energy and protein and vitamins and minerals that you didn't get for that long period of time. But also you want to jumpstart your metabolism by giving it a lot of work to do as soon as you wake up, by giving it a lot of food. And then every 2 to 4 hours, you give it more food to keep it working high. When you skip breakfast, now your body's already in fat, is already in a starvation mode, and you don't have the energy to start your day off fast. Your metabolism starts off slow because it doesn't have any work to do because you didn't feed it, or it has a little bit of work to do because you gave it some half-assed breakfast. And then throughout the day, it's going to stay slow. And then when you eat those meals, you're eating big meals that your body can't use all of the sugar and protein and whatever from yet. So your body might use half of it, and then the other half, guess what's happening to it? It's being stored, and it's going to be stored as fat. Whereas if you took the same meal and chopped it in half, and instead of eating it every 5 hours, ate it every 2.5 hours, your body's going to use 100% of it and store nothing. So therefore, you're keeping your metabolism high, and you're keeping your body out of a fat storing mode and in a fat burning mode, and you're keeping everything going. Now I checked for your age, height, and weight. Your daily caloric intake is just under 2,000 calories is what you should be taking in, and that's if you want to lose weight. So it's about 1,997 calories a day. If you want to just maintain, it's 2,400 calories. But obviously, with Road to Rip, we're trying to lose. So when you're sitting here eating all these meals, I also went and looked up the burgers at the Cheesecake Factory. They range anywhere from 700 to like 1,800 calories each. They have like 1,000 to 1,800 grams of sodium in them. It's ridiculous. Dr. Pepper, what you say you're addicted to, a 12-ounce can of Dr. Pepper has 39 grams of sugar in it. That is more, that one can is your whole day's worth of sugar intake in that one can. And you're drinking more than a can, because when you drink at wherever you go, Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Outback, wherever you go, they're giving you 16 ounces of soda. So 12 ounces is already your whole daily intake of sugar. and you're drinking 16 ounces and you're getting refills on that and you're drinking that with every meal, well, guess what happens to all that excess sugar in your body? Has to be stored as fat because sugar is toxic to your blood. It's why diabetes is a problem. When you have too much sugar, it causes an immediate response from your body to overproduce insulin to get the sugar out of your bloodstream. Well, the only thing that your body can do with that excess sugar is to store it somewhere so it's not in your bloodstream. Where do you think it stores it? In your fat cells. So by not eating a breakfast, only eating two other meals a day, 5 hours apart, you're training your body to store fat and burn muscle. And then by drinking so much soda, and then you're eating, whether it's the burgers, the club sandwich, the bread is a simple carbohydrate, which is going to turn into sugar. Those burgers come with French fries, potatoes, simple carbohydrates, going to turn into sugar. You're drinking all of this sugar in your Dr. Pepper. Your body has to store all of that in your fat cells. So you're giving it excess fat to store, and you're training it to store fat instead of burn fat. So you're basically causing yourself to get fat and lose muscle on a consistent basis rather than to lose fat and retain the muscle. So number one, you have to eat breakfast. Now, I know you say if you're going to eat breakfast, it has to be, you feel like you have to have an actual full meal. Well, good news for you. Because it turns out that actually the things that we eat for lunch and dinner actually make the best breakfast. And for the reasons that I stated, because they usually have a lot of protein, fat, and carbs in them. Whatever you eat for lunch, whatever, spaghetti, a club sandwich, steak and potatoes, whatever it is. Because you just woke up from a long fast, because you were sleeping, giving your body all of that stuff is actually not going to hurt you because your body has been deprived of it for so many hours. And then it helps, again, because it's a lot of stuff, it jumpstarts your metabolism and has it running fast. So you don't have to be eating a bowl of cereal. That actually is garbage because most cereal has a high sugar content, and the amount of food in it is not really enough to jumpstart your metabolism. So the leftovers from last night's dinner probably would make the best breakfast anyway. So eat that for breakfast. And then every 2 to 4 hours, eat a smaller portion of a regular meal, or eat the snacks. The actual snacking every 2 hours is actually good for you, because that's how you're supposed to eat. Now, eating popcorn and chips and shit, not that good for you. You can eat healthier things like fruit, nuts, almonds, peanuts, cashews, things like that. But eat the breakfast. You have to eat breakfast, a big breakfast. And then every 2 to 4 hours, eat a meal. Eat a smaller portion, whatever it is, your regular size portion of meal that you get, from any fast food place. Chop that in half, and instead of eating the whole plate in one sitting, chop it in half and eat it every 3 hours. Would be better for you. So you can still do that. The soda, you have to get rid of that. The amount of sugar that is in soda, it's ridiculous. So, preferably water. And I understand drinking water all the time, you get to a point where you want something with flavor. I would say to you then, if you need something with flavor, make your own juices. Get Crystal Light, or get some, make iced tea at home yourself, and sweeten it to the point where it's tolerable but doesn't feel like you're drinking a cup full of sugar. So then you have something that has flavor in it, but it's not, overly abundant in sugar. And even when you drink that, don't make that your main drink for the meal. Instead of drinking, 2 cups of that, maybe drink a cup of it, half a cup, and then make your other cup ice cold water. So, you eat your food, you drink that down for the flavor, and then you drink the water itself. So you're diluting it, you're not getting as much sugar in it, but you're not just drinking, water, which is basically flavorless all of the time, So, you got to find tricks to it where you can still have what you want to have, but you're not giving your body so much of it, because you can still have sugar. It's just the amount that you're intaking by what you're drinking is doing nothing but putting on pounds for you. And since you're trying to lose weight, you're not really helping yourself. So have it in moderation. Drink a lot of water. Ice cold water is better for you because your body has to warm it up first before it can use it, which causes your body to burn off more calories just from you drinking ice cold water than to drink room temperature water. So do that. Like I said, stick to the breakfast. You got to find a way to get that in there. Try to eat every 3 to 4 hours. Stay away from the simple carbohydrates. If you don't know, simple carbohydrates basically means it's easily broken down. Like bread, it has already been processed and pulverized into that wheat flour, and then you add things to it, gluten and all that, to make it into dough. So it's like it's been pre-digested for you. So when you eat it, it breaks down very fast in your system, and it turns immediately into sugar. And since sugar is toxic, like I said, your body has to get it out. The only thing it can do with it is stuff it in your fat cells to take it out of your bloodstream, and you're now making your fat cells bigger. So white bread, white sugar, cane sugar, brown sugar, corn syrup, potatoes, French fries, pasta, all of this stuff turns into sugar very fast in your system. So you really need to either limit or eliminate altogether the intake of those foods and replace them with other things. Yams, sweet potatoes instead of the potatoes. I heard, you can make cauliflower mashed potatoes. Haven't tried it yet. I'm gonna attempt it, see how much I like it. Excuse me. Obviously replacing white bread with whole grains and wheat bread. Even when you eat your club sandwich, instead of eating it the traditional, it's two pieces of bread, make it an open face sandwich. Take the top loaf of bread off and only eat it. It's right there. You're cutting the amount of carbohydrates you're taking in half. You're still having the sandwich, just the top part of the bread you don't eat. Eat it as an open face sandwich. Yeah, so I would say do those things. You don't have to change your whole lifestyle completely. The soda maybe, but everything, you can still eat the things that you're eating. Just adjust the portion that you're eating, when you eat it, and how often you eat it, and you'll completely change what you're eating. Like, for instance, if you were to buy 4 chicken wings and pork fried rice from the Chinese food restaurant, right? Obviously, it's too many calories in that to eat in one sitting. But if you were to chop that in half, took half of the rice and 2 chicken wings, and ate that every 3 hours, it's better for you. I believe a cup of fried rice is about 100 calories, and each chicken wing is 90 calories. So that is about 280 calories you're eating per meal if you chopped it in half and ate it every 3 hours instead of eating the one plate every 5 or 6 hours. You understand? I mean, because if you did that, okay, it was 280, it's about 540 calories you're eating in that one meal. And then that's not counting whatever sugary drink you're drinking, which is giving you, like you said, another 150 calories plus, 40 plus grams of sugar in one sitting. So you can still eat the things, just chop it in half, smaller portions, eat it more frequently, substitute some of the unhealthier, options for healthier options. Like I said, you want to eat your club sandwich, get the club sandwich. Instead of eating the whole, the whole hoagie or the whole hero, eat half of it and then make it an open face sandwich. So you just cut your carbohydrates down to 25% of what you would have normally eaten, and then just eat that every 2 to 4 hours. So instead of you're not going to feel like you're starving and then have to eat the whole sandwich because you didn't wait 5 hours to eat. You ate 2.5 hours or 3 hours in. So you're not going to feel like you're hungry or you're starving. You're not going to feel unsatisfied from the meal. And you're cutting back your calories that you're intaking per meal. You're giving your body time to actually burn off all of these calories before you give it extra calories so that it doesn't store any of this. It burns it 100% to use for energy. And if you're actually keeping track of your caloric intake, as I stated for you, is right below 2,000, then you can start creating deficits. Like, let's say if you ate 4 or 5 meals a day, you're keeping your body from going into fat storing mode, right? Let's say you made those meals 300 calories. 5 meals is 1,500 from the 2,000 that you need. So you just created a 500 calorie deficit every day for your body. And that's just with your food. That's not counting how many calories you're burning during doing your workouts. So now you're causing your body to burn calories. You're still eating the stuff that you like. You just change the way you eat it. Instead of one big meal every 5 hours, 5 smaller meals every 3 hours. Same amount of food, same amount of calories daily. But because you're taking it in that way, your body can use it. And because you kickstarted your metabolism by eating a large meal for breakfast, your body's going to burn through those calories quickly. So, and then eliminating the sugar, those excess pounds that you're stocking away, going to be gone. Also, by eliminating the salt, that high salt content, 1,800 calories in a burger, that's one meal. All of that salt, on top of high blood pressure, is going to cause a lot of water retention, inflammation, swelling. So you're going to be putting on water weight. You're going to be putting on more fat from all the carbohydrates and sugar that you're eating, as well as the fat that's in the cheese. I'm sure they don't use the leanest meat in the burger. The sugar from the ketchup, the carbohydrates from the French fries, the excess sugar from the Dr. Peppers that you're eating that you're drinking by the threes. So and that's after you've already told your body, don't burn any fat, store all the fat, burn muscle, because you're starving it by going so long without eating. Then on top of that, giving it an abundance of fat to store. So, like I said, whatever gains, whatever calories you burned off during your workout, you're putting them all right back on from your food. And whatever muscle you put on from your workout, you're destroying it all by putting your body in fat storing mode and telling it to store fat and eat muscle for energy. So, change that up. Like you said, you were kind of disappointed. I think you said you went up a pound or two in weight, and I guarantee you that Dr. Pepper was causing that to you. So, just my advice. You could go look up this stuff if you want. I obviously am no expert. I've looked up this stuff. I've been researching it. My girl's diabetic. My mother's diabetic. So I've looked into this stuff on their behalf. I've sat down with many nutritionists on what they need to eat and how they need to eat it. I've done research on my own and looked it up, read books, magazines, went online. And that's where I'm getting my information from. But you can do your own research. Obviously, you should never take one person's word for it. Do your own research. But, just some advice. Try to help you out. And, see you on the road to Rip. Your boy Sontwisted. I'm out. Peace.